G'day, today we're going to have a look at the weekly challenge in Mini Motorways. This one is set in Beijing. Looks like we've got some unlimited road to start with. So unlimited road tiles, all destinations are circles. Only one choice of upgrade is offered. This is the week of the 26th of September. Alright, so first off, let's just do a nice straight line. Go to our circular guy here. So this should mean that our score should look pretty nice. Because it's going to be like hitting the ground running, and for it considers itself having gotten hard, it will be hard from just everything being a circle. So it's a sort of a give and take. Sometimes it does mean that you can get a nicer score if you've got a nice little management system off and running. Could I do some blocking as well? Maybe. I've never done it overly successfully, so I'm a little bit hesitant to. Do want to make sure that these guys sort of have an even distribution of houses. Pause for a second there as well. So what we're going to do is going to flip this guy's road up further north, so that blue has a bit more room to work with in getting houses in here. Unlike the other maps, these ones really feel like you're already off and running. And the other times you look up and you're on like 10, and it's like, wow, we already hit 40. There's constant demand. Does mean if I do badly, I'll crash and burn real quick here. But it's also interesting because you get so many more houses based on the amount of demand that you have, which potentially means you don't get as many destinations because you've got so many houses that are just sort of springing up straight away. I was thinking about the combination of if you got one that was, say, unlimited road and houses and buildings can spawn anywhere. Because then you could possibly try and really set it so that you have some super close houses to some super close destinations, and then try and block everything else out. As opposed to you don't get to see what your choices are. I feel like getting only one choice, even though it's basically the same thing, at least makes you feel like you're having a say in it. But what I want to do here is, this is one I'm going to test. I am going to block all of this momentarily. Because I want to see if we can force this guy. Give me pink houses somewhere down here. No. We can't really sit on this for too long. Give me one more in this vicinity. Yeah. That's gaming the system here. Beautiful. Well, let's crack all this open again. And I mean, like, it now makes me think that I missed my opportunity with these three guys. In part, it's because of the absolute amount of houses that it feels like it has to give you in order for this to be sustainable. He might need some more help eventually. 3 houses at that distance, it'll be close. Alright, let's try and manufacture it again. Oh, we don't want to do that, but we want them. Again, that's not that worst bad a spot either. If we get those guys for this guy, we'll make that. So let's block that. And it's that back edge there too. It's feeling nice and crafty, this one. The thing is, as soon as I get those 3 houses, all of that time I spent building all this road, I have to get rid of, because we then need to... Oh, luckily, this time we can at least block off just this small amount. Let's see if we can get lucky again. How low should we go? There we go, if we do that. And we really want to see at least 3 houses in this setup. Alright, now, do want to start to get rid of everything else before more comes in, because I don't want to then have weird forcing of where my destinations are located. Or do I? Let's try this. Let's block out all of that again. And see if we can have our next destination show up in this top corner. Cool. And then what we'll do is we will block everything down here, everything across the top. Let's try and get even closer. Alright, that was a weird little... One more pink and then we'll... Can I get another pink up here? Let's clear some space up here. Be a nice spot for a new destination. Cool. Alright, so we've got to first our greenhouse on the outside here. So let's block everything, open up all of that space. Probably nothing wrong with just there too. Let's wipe that out of here. Sorry, we've got that little space there too. This is working way better than I've ever had block and work for me before. Perfect. Okay. So the thing is that I want to keep getting more and more places. I don't want to sort of just look at that and go, well, that's perfect. That's exactly ideal for now, because eventually these will get busier and busier and it will become a problem. Motorways would be really nice for getting these 3 guys that are, I guess, what we'd call my long ones at the moment. Some distance, but let's clear out that corner there now. See if we can get destination up here. Make sure we keep blocking this edge so we don't end up with like what happened with that greenhouse. Oh, we're still getting greenhouses. That's alright, we can still use these guys as auxiliary for that guy. But what we'll do is we'll block that off again. And we will open up this corner. A bit more space. Great. Let's block this edge off. See, some of these extra ones suggest that some of these guys expect to start getting a bit busier too. So we can't necessarily... Though that could just be that it thinks, alright, this is the time in the game where you need more than 3 things for X locate, like for the amount of workload you've got. But because there's so much, like so many of these have such a close location to their house, they might not actually need it. Like you can see this guy's still merrily running on his 2. See, this guy's probably not doing too well compared to everyone else. Also still got all that space available. Still adamant that I need light blue houses. That, let's give this guy that road, but yeah, we'll leave those 2 spots there available as well. And that's a really nice house for both of these guys. These 2 almost mean that we could either go direct here, or they could actually turn around and be this guy's super close network. Okay. Let's, well, let's do some more blocking up here. Block out all of that. Connect them for now that way. And let's take off this side of the island, see if we can get someone over there. Give me some houses. You still only have 1 motorway. A lot of bridges though. I feel like the way that I have to play this is that the longer that you have just places, the longer that you have places, like the fewer destinations that you have of any color, the more workload that the ones that you have are going to get. So what we want to do is try and keep getting more and more houses showing up. Actually, it's alright, so let's do that top side. Come on. Give me someone. Always think this guy as well. It's my first dud, I'd say. Get rid of that. Let's up the space. The thing is, it's wanting to give me more houses now as well. Now, this guy's not coping with his 2. look to see what we can do with that. Got a scattering of pink houses over here. We've got this one pink house, two pink houses up here that we can cut through, like, so much of this road. They can actually just sort of, we can continue to sort of have this layout and they can just be actually using the road at the same time. So they cut down into here. We then connect that. There's a yellow house that suits this guy much better. Good, there's a motorway. This guy we might give a motor roundabout just because he is being weird about his situation. Then means that we've got the option of putting a highway in there too if we need it. Okay, so is there anywhere else that's a good location for another destination? Let's try this bottom corner. It's wanting to give us a lot of houses at this point. Still, this guy's my worst off. Let's wipe out those spots there. I've got to be careful too when I'm doing this huge deletes of road that there's not actually a place that's using. Now, I'm pretty sure that the game generally won't build anything in the outer ring. So this very outside ring won't ever get any houses in it. Okay. So we've got to clear that to stop these guys from eventually going slow. You can see yellows across the board are starting to be unhappy. Got two yellows here that we can just highway over here. Alright, now let's play it for like fair game at this point. I think we've stacked the deck as well as we probably can. Now we can have a look to see what the map really looks like. I'd expect that we should still end up with a destination or two from here, but that's alright. Expect that to work anywhere near as well as it did, so starting with a much better hand than I expected. Okay, so got clearing all of that, we can see that we've got two guys here that are pretty close to each other, and we've got this guy here that we can swoop down to give him an extra set of hands as well. Alright, even getting another destination, that's a really nice get, that one. There's more down here we can get rid of. These three guys to swoop along there and come help him out. Okay. It's an awkward placement, that one. So probably what we want to do is get rid of this guy's connection to these three. These three become the property of the lower destination. This guy now inherits just those three houses, which puts him way worse off than he was. What we want to see now is just more yellow houses anywhere. Though that, I guess what that's also done is now split the amount of workload for each of the yellow destinations, so they're also just looking better. Having cleared out all that other road, what we can see too is that the quickest way for these guys is actually right through there. So we'll turn them around. Heap of greenhouses in the north here. Still haven't connected this guy to the light blue destination right next to him, but pink seems to be our struggler at the moment. I don't think we need that there anymore. I think what we can also do is put a roundabout there and then give these two guys straight across to that. This guy can also gain this yellow house here if he needs it. I'm not sure he does at the moment. Keeping an eye on light blues. I suppose he can't turn around. He'd have to go up and around that way. So maybe these two guys are actually the closest ones for this one. Doesn't mean that I can also use this guy, and all those many bridges are now coming in handy, I guess. And we can then whip this guy around and he can come in to help too. This guy can help in that one. Very messy having a T intersection into a destination though. I'm never a fan of it. But I'm gonna have to keep doing it. Now these guys are struggling. More roundabouts could help out some of these guys too. Alright, we need to help out Pink. Pink's just gained it. This pink up here's just gained that house there, I think, so that's a nice little get. Let's get rid of that road there. Good. We've got 3 motorways, so let's hop those guys over there. Do we have any other little groups of pink houses that we can... All of these guys are sort of... And this guy doesn't need to be going around the long way. He can come around that way. He doesn't have to join with everyone else. Alright, blues now. Unhappy too. That's all blues, so it's, I guess, their turn to complain. So we've got a group of 3 blues over here that we could send to someone to help out, but I feel like all the blues have pretty good coverage. Maybe not this guy here. Give him an intersection. See the turmoil that this is getting here from just having these guys all sort of the intersection into this. This yellow house is gaining better and better close houses. It means he's now got 5, this guy's still only got 3, so what we might do is just flip that guy up so it's 4 and 4. This guy's already got 4. Need to make some move with blue. Let's there for this guy, and we'll send them 3 down there. There's 3 guys to go make a bigger mess down this end. Sometimes I look at it that if like the problem area is right next to the not right next to the entrance, it's not as bad, because it means that everyone is right there ready to sort of like knock another house like job off the problem. But I think it just sort of ends up just being such a mess in the parking lot. Cars can't get in and out, that it's where the real problem is. Now at this point we've got absolutely everyone is red and unhappy. So, I mean, we've got one more motorway. But let's flick those guys across like that. And this guy has a ton of houses looking after him. This guy's got 4. This guy's got 4. Should... see if there's anyone we can do anywhere. Who's worst off? This guy down here seems to be my worst looking... closest to death. Almost every single yellow house is being used by something. Again, if I jump, like, say, this guy over here, it's gonna just... I mean, he's close, so let's... we may as well just, like, help out the guy that's gonna sink us, even if it just gets us a few extra houses. This guy over here is not looking great either. I realize that this greenhouse here is also going to come down and use this intersection. Now, sometimes all this is just sitting here and watching this, looking like you're about to sink, but you actually will survive for a while with everyone just sort of like on the brink. This blue here, looking real bad. You can see that all of these blue houses out here, no one's at home, which suggests that there's major problems. So let's get more guys. Let's just try and solve the problem by dumping more and more guys on the problem, on the issue. Can't sneak these guys through to get into here. There's no gap there. We make it to the end of another week. What do we think? This yellow here, cool. He's just gained another nice located house. This blue guy here is still a big issue. Don't have a motorway at this point anyway. Can't get these guys down and over. Oh, just get in the parking lot, fellas. Ugh. What we're gonna do is connect that like that. Gonna get rid of that. See if this sort of like hook loop is a bigger part of the problem. Oh, that's 4,000. You can see these guys are still sort of moving a little bit better. Green down here is now looking like a problem. Get that guy in there because he's only got 3 houses at the moment. That gives him number 4. We do have a whole bunch of greenhouses down here too. They're stuck on the wrong side of this motorway. Him. This guy down on the bottom has gained 2 more houses there, so I reckon we can get rid of that motorway. And we'll just keep our eyes on gaining that back. Because the second we do, we'll hop these guys over. There we go. Okay, so let's jump these guys to... I don't like it. I'll just put them to here. Let's just drop them to there. Sort of just means that there's a roll of guys coming in and out of the parking lot isn't the problem. It's more down here's the problem. But I don't know if I've maybe put that too low, that there's still... these guys in the front houses are going to just be slowing everyone down a little bit more. Alright, there's another yellow house over here. Well, first let's turn that guy around so he's a bit more facing the right direction. We've got 2 guys here that can both join on that, and we've got this guy here that can get up there. So yellow's sort of gained a fair few houses. You can see up here as well. I think yellow's also inherited a few more up there. Another one there too. So this guy's got a fair amount. This guy's probably our only short yellow house. Now this is a bad traffic jam anyway. It's just the traffic jam's down here as opposed to in the parking lot like everyone else. Alright, blue down here though. This is the alternative option and that doesn't seem to be going much better either. Now what I could do is pull this motorway from... Well, we could just give them that guy, I suppose. Give him an extra set of hands to make that whole mess a little bit messier. Because with most of these, you can see it's not necessarily about, like, almost everyone has got, like, guys laying in wait to get in there. They're just... It's just the management of trying to actually land their turn to sort of move through the mess. This is just the one that I feel like I've made a... caused him a bigger mess to sort of solve. There's at least... You can see some guys sitting at home here, which means that he's got enough cars moving. So I'm going to bounce him to the top. What that'll mean is that all these cars will finish doing their round, but as soon as they're done, they're going to, like, no longer help out. Alright, blue at the top here. I mean, that's just, again, that's a... He's got a queue. Past 5,000 a little while back, too. Just got to get caught out not staring at the wrong guys. So we've got... Is he connected? I think he is. He's connecting that way. I mean, there's no one at home, so he's obviously doing something. Let's grab these three guys. Oh, let's try a straight line this time. And run them down there to go help this guy out who's struggling. I'll grab that house too. Thing is, I was going to say, the problem is that sometimes you can have all these cars come and you can see how far a journey they've got to make. So it could possibly make these guys just sit at home going like, oh, well, there's already cars coming for those jobs. But you can see these guys are non-stop, and you can see that every single one of these houses cleared out, which means that there is the demand for that much more than what these houses that were already on there could actually handle. So you can see he's now our worst off, and only just. This guy here has moved that traffic jam just up a little bit, and I think he's possibly still going to sink us. Yeah. This yellow here, again, we just haven't gotten him any more help than his original 4 houses. Anyone that we can shift over here. You can see there's some yellows here that aren't currently being used. This blue, pink. There's only one house on that blue and pink. I mean, we can try and sort of do that nasty sort of cut across to give these two guys a little bit of assistance down there. And you can immediately see that that blue house has gone off to try and help over in this long queue as well. Blue here is, I think his traffic, yeah, his traffic just got completely stuck. Oh, so close to 6,000. Not too bad, though. Not too bad at all. Let's see how we stack up. Top 1%, always nice. Number 4. All right, and especially since this is the second last day of the challenge for this one, let me just flex a little bit. There we go. Any questions? That is what successful blocking, I guess, actually looks like, if you were curious, because I certainly had been. Any questions or comments, feel free to chuck them below. Until next time, catch you later. See ya.